Example of a beacon is a lighthouse. Beacons have been used in many different ways throughout history, from navigation to defensive communications. In Europe are Bronze Age metal horns and types of drums, their history and their uses. Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is all about mobile phones. Episode 2. What is a beacon? A beacon is a device that is purposely made to catch people's attention and show them where something is located. A good example of a beacon is a lighthouse, which draws attention to a fixed point that can be used to navigate around obstacles or into a port. Historically, beacons were fires lit at well-known locations on hills or high places, as we discussed in episode 1, used either as lighthouses for navigation at sea or for signaling over land that enemy troops were approaching in order to alert defenses. Systems of this kind have existed for centuries over much of the world, with the ancient Greeks calling them something.
Frictoie.
In ancient China, sentinels on and near the Great Wall of China used a sophisticated system of daytime smoke and nighttime flame to send signals along long chains of beacon towers. Throughout history, beacons have been used in a wide variety of defensive contexts. In Scandinavia, many hill forts were part of beacon networks to warn against invading villagers. In Wales, the Brecon beacons were named for beacons used to warn of approaching English raiders. In England, the most famous examples are the beacons used in Elizabethan England to warn of the approaching Spanish Armada. Many hills in England were named Beacon Hill after such beacons. So as you can see, beacons have been used in many different ways throughout history, from navigation to defensive communications, and while modern technology has replaced many of these traditional uses, the legacy of the beacons live in our language and culture. Communication horn. Have you ever heard of a blowing horn or winding horn? It's a sound device that is usually made of or shaped like an animal horn, arranged to blow from a hole in the pointed end of it. This rudimentary device had a variety of functions in many cultures. The oldest varieties were made of horns of Bovidae and wood. The earliest findings in Europe are Bronze Age metal horns, the strength of which resulted in its better endurance of the rigors of time. As a result, previous traces of other materials have vanished, so the oldest surviving animal horns dates back to the late Iron Age in Visnum, Sweden. As big-horned animals are rarely found in Scandinavia, blowing horns are often made from wood, one with bark or bout, called a lur. Many horns have been used as sounding cries by ancient societies. A modern-day descendant of the horn, the bugle, is used to call out orders in military camps. The hunting horn was used to communicate on a hunt and is still used today in some places. Communication drums. Drums have been used by cultures living in forested areas for centuries, and they served as an early form of long-distance communication. They were commonly used during ceremonial and religious functions. In this video, we will be discussing different types of drums, their history, and their uses. The first type of drum that we'll be discussing is the talking drum. This hourglass-shaped instrument can be modulated closely, but its range is limited to a gathering or marketplace. It is primarily used in ceremonial settings for dances, rituals, storytelling, and communication of points of order. Some variations of the talking drum among West African ethnic groups include Tama, Gangan, Dundun, Dondo, Luna, Kalangu, and Dudu. The second type of drum is the slit gongs. These message drums, also known as slit gongs, have hollow chambers and long, narrow openings that resonate when struck. They are larger all-wood instruments hollowed out from a single log. Slit log drums are common in the drum communication system of Papua New Guinea. They could also be highly elaborate works of sculpture while still retaining their function. Often there are small stands under each end of the drum to keep it off the ground and let it vibrate more freely. The third type of drum is the cambarisu, I don't know, which was reportedly used by a tribe of Brazil. They used this drum to send vibrations through the ground to other cambarisus up to 1.5 km away. However, some scholars expressed skepticism that the device existed and that it sent vibrations through the ground rather than the air. Drum languages. Drum communication methods are not languages in their own right. They are based on spoken languages. The sounds produced are conventionalized or idiomatic signals based on speech patterns. The messages are normally very stereotyped and context dependent. They lack the ability to form new combinations and expressions. In Central and East Africa, drum patterns represent the stress, syllable length, and tone of the particular African language. In tone languages, where syllables are associated with a certain tone, some words are distinguished only by their segmental profile. Therefore, syllable drum languages can often transfer a message using the tonal phonemes alone. Misinterpretations can occur due to the highly ambiguous nature of the communication. This is reduced by context effects and the use of stroke phrases. That's all for the day. I hope you liked the video. In next episode, we will discuss about mail and pigeon post. So stay tuned. Interesting things are coming up.